Welcome to World Angel Summit. I'm your host, DOREEN-VIRTUE, with another enlightening interview for you in the world of angels. And our next guest is someone that you are very familiar with his work, but you might not have heard from him directly until now. He is Marius Michael George, and you have loved his paintings that have graced the covers of many of my books and on my angel cards. And he's going to talk to us about all things angels and light and art. And we're so excited that you're here with us, Marius. Let me just introduce your bio to those who are not familiar with your amazing background. You're classically trained as a visionary artist, and you're also an art teacher specializing in sacred art. And you're a native of Eastern Europe, born in Bucharest, Romania. That's so beautiful. So many people who are listening right now, Marius, have had experiences, maybe not exactly like yours, but similar, where we see the divine, we see God's holy angels, we see the light of God, we see the light of the angels, etc. And yet you have this talent, and I think it's a calling you've had since a long time ago, if I'm not mistaken,
Yes,
to translate that light onto canvas. And so we're fascinated to hear the process of how you take a vision and make it a painting.
sure. Sure. It happens in a few different ways. Like, I'll start with the most practical way. Let's say that we are talking about me creating some type of artwork for you. And you start describing what your vision is and what you would like to have done. In a case like that, as I am listening to you describing your vision, I most of the times experience um, this vision materializing in a place which I would say it's somewhat around my head area.
Okay.
I I wouldn't want to say it's a mental image, but it's something that starts crystallizing and becoming clearer and clearer as we're talking more about it. And by the end of the conversation, I would have a very, very clear image about how the painting will look like.
Mm.
And in
So
mo-
that's interesting. Let me stop you right there, because I know a lot of people tell me, like, if they want to write a book or paint something or start a creative process, they feel like they need to know everything when they start out. But that's not true, is it?
no, not at all. Not, at least not for me.
All right. So you
Uh,
start out and you're not quite sure how it's going to end up, but you trust.
Absolutely. Like I said, in a very down to earth situation of talking to someone and trying to translate someone else's vision, this is pretty much how it happens. That vision starts materializing for me. And then at the end of a conversation, I would take time to sketch it and take notes about everything that came to me during that conversation. And then,
Uh-huh.
I go forward with the actual artwork.
So beautiful. And can we talk about the light? Because your paintings, and those who are listening to your interview on the World Angel Summit can see a PDF of some of your artwork in addition to on the book covers.
Yes.
So this light that you capture, Marius, how do you do that? I mean, I sometimes see light physically, and I try to take a photograph of it, and it never translates. And here you're able to translate it through your paintbrush and through your work with graphic painting.
Yes. Well, it's based on, first of all, being trained to be able to reproduce the physical reality around us with all of its beauty and so called special effects of light, like having flower being illumined by a ray of sunshine. there's
Mm-hmm.
wonderful effects that happen there that mm, through the process of trying to reproduce that, I would learn the necessary techniques to be able to then reproduce this divine light that I experience in visions and in journeys into other dimensions. So it's basically training, I guess, technique. And
Mm-hmm.
I would bring as an example to this this card from the Angel Answers deck that is
Uh-huh.
called Meditation Brings Answers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's an image of a lady sitting in front of this angel that's very glowing and very, it has that effect of radiating light very powerfully. That would be
Yes.
a good example for the listeners to have as an
Mm-hmm.
illustration of what we're talking about.
Yeah, that painting glows.
So the main challenge with such image is being able to reproduce the effect of a being illuminated from the inside and radiating light on the outside,
Oh my goodness, yes.
like a light bulb,
Okay.
as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to us physical beings having our being able to be seen happens only when we are illumined by an external source, like the sun or a light bulb,
Right.
something from the outside shining on us.
And so you're able to see and capture the light from within shining outward from these angels.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
That's what I
And
wanted to ask you, Marius. Is it ever frustrating for you? Is it ever there's this part of you that just can't make it translate to the physical dimension of a canvas?
it was frustrating in the beginning, very frustrating, actually. But as years went by, and I realized, the limitation of what we have as possibilities in the physical of translating other, the amazingness of other dimensions, I started to relax and,
Yeah.
understand that it's only so much I can do. And of course, I'm always searching for new ways of expressions and new modalities of enhancing my ability to translate these experiences into images. And lately, I'm using all kinds of digital new tools that are available, which open up a whole new universe of possibilities.
I can
So,
imagine. That's so beautiful. And I want to also just acknowledge you publicly that you were one of my first spiritual teachers to teach me about fallen angels, which
mm,
before you taught me about the Marius, I actually thought all angels were angels. I'd heard about fallen angels, but I just didn't even focus on it. And so you were the first one, Marius, many years ago to teach me about the wings, to really
mm.
pay attention to the wings. And I wondered if you would share that with our audience about how that not all angels are angels in the sense that we're talking about. There are some that aren't the best intentions or energy, and those wings.
I guess, yes. I remember we were talking about creating an image for the cover of your oracle cards with Archangel Raphael.